All right, it should be recording. I've never actually recorded by myself, so we'll all see if this works. My name is Oscar Rios. I am running a mini campaign for Cthulhu Invictus for Legends of Tabletop. We are preparing a special surprise for the group tomorrow. Actually, I'm meeting a day early with two of my oldest Cthulhu Invictus friends to have them be special guest stars in the next portion of the campaign. And they are
Walter Attridge. How are you?
Angie Bell Attridge. Or GB.
Walter and GB are two of my oldest friends, and have played a lot of Cthulhu Invictus with me back in the day before they moved down south. They have the distinction of being two of the original playtesters of the Legacy of Arius Lurko, which tells you how long I've been friends with them. And they're actually playing characters who are quite similar to the characters we played together back in the day. And in the same place, too, because I ran a lot of stuff in Britannia back then. We are currently in Aqua Soleus, where... introduce your characters, guys.
I am Curtius Fronto, a middle-aged surgeon working in, birthplace Rome, and of moderate means. But I make the proper sacrifices to the gods in order to curb the Plutonian humors, and so complete. So I'm a man of science. So
okay,
science.
GB.
I'm playing Votemos of the Parisi, a spear fighter, and he is 25 years old. He seems to have a jovial nature and likes to sing. He does not sing well, by the way, but he does love to sing. And he believes that he should be out there fighting and living his best life.
Okay, great. Okay, so Walter, you are out and about in town, watching some shows and doing some shopping and just basically taking a break with your young nurse / slave. And GB, you are actually knocking back drinks with a group of soldiers who are led by an old friend of yours who actually has a name. That's Sigonactus.
You're going to have to spell that one for me.
No.
Spelled like it sounds. Sigonactus.
Actually, it's Sigonaxius. It's Sigonaxius.
Sigonaxius.
Oh, God.
Now, here's something. When you knew him a few years ago, he was just Sigonax. But since then, he's become a Roman citizen and Romanized his name.
I see. You sold out, dude.
He is currently a lieutenant with the Watch, so apparently it was a good upwardly mobile choice for him.
You become decent.
Right. So he's attached to the 20th, and they're here not quite on leave. They're assigned to the town, augmenting the Watch. They're close enough to the sea that, pirates are a problem, and you're not too far from a naval base, next town over. And, this is a big, important town, so they do have some soldiers here for civil defense. Now, all of the soldiers under his command, they are not Celtic, and they are not Roman. They are, in fact, Syrian-born.
Oh.
That's a trip.
So they're like really fish out of water in Britannia, but Rome started doing this to keep people from going AWOL. They would, if you joined the army in Britannia, you would be serving in Africa. If you joined it in Germany, you'd be serving in Syria. They
So
never let you serve.
10,000 miles away.
Right. They learned their lesson after a German lieutenant led 3 legions to their death in the Teutoburg forest when he betrayed them. So anywhere where your homies might cause trouble, you're not going to be serving anywhere near them. So he is actually in charge of 10 new recruits from Syria. And they're all off duty, so you're drinking with them in this bar and having a great time. So I'm going to have both of you roll luck, just to shake the dust off those Cthulhu Invictus dice.
25.
49.
Okay, Walter is the luckier of the two. As you are here in the marketplace, a man comes rushing up on a horse, and you don't see many horses. Horses are very expensive, and especially through the city, they would usually be stabled and not like going through the streets. And you hear someone yelling, "Stop that man, stop that man." He gets off the horse, and the horse is all lathered up. And he looks at you and the girl, and he says, you have to help me. You have to help me. Please don't let them arrest me. I can't be held. I have to get back. It's a matter of life and death. Please help me. Will you help me?
Okay. One, I'm not getting between you and some soldiers, but if you they're going to just keep chasing you until they kill you. You're not getting where you want to go. So stop for a moment. Let's talk this out. You're not getting where you're going. They're going to just run you down and kill you.
He says, "I was just trying to get here. I'm just trying to get help. I've got to get back before I'm missed."
Okay, what kind of help? I'm a doctor. If that's not the kind of help you need, then talk to somebody else.
Okay, GB, at this point, you and the other soldiers see a group of town vigiles, kind of like in lockstep, marching towards your friend and some wild-eyed guy in the middle of the marketplace.
What's going on over there?
He says that I took a chance and I tried to get here. I tried to get to Aquasaleas as quickly as I can. My village is under assault, under sorceress assault. We've been cursed. We were told not to seek help, but it's gotten really bad. We really need help. So I snuck out, and on the road I stole this horse so I can get here fast enough. And if I can get back to town quickly enough, maybe no one will realize I'm gone. I don't want my family to be punished because I left.
Okay.
And he says he does give his name. Let me find this fucking guy's name.
I pat my friend in the back, and I go approach the ocean a little bit to see what's going on. Grab my spear, the spear that I
His
have.
name is Antor.
Okay.
Antor of the village. Oh God, I can't pronounce Welsh.
Don't try.
Maliashet.
Don't try. You weren't born. Don't try. You haven't grown the tongue to be able to pronounce Welsh.
Right. So Maliashet.
All right. So the first thing I would say to Antor, was Antor yelling about? Was he like very clearly yelling out to everybody that he stole a horse? Because his ass is just getting hung.
Unfortunately, yes, he did say that out loud.
Okay,
That he
I'm
stole someone's horse on the road so he could get here quickly.
Okay, now, Antoine, please. All right. Work with me like you're talking to a child, okay?
Your slave comes over and gives him a glass of water, which he greedily drinks, and it seems to calm him down.
Thank you, Helga. Thank you. Did you hurt anyone when you stole the horse?
No, the man was urinating by a bush. I just jumped on the horse and I ran with it.
Can you identify him so you could return his horse so maybe he doesn't have you hanged?
I got a good look at him.
Okay.
I never planned to keep the horse. I wasn't stealing the horse. I was just borrowing it.
It's fine. It's just you barreled in here admitting to several crimes that are just going to get you killed rather than save your village. So let's deal with that first, then let's save your village.
Walter, I want you to roll a status roll. Because I think you have some good status.
Status, okay. That is a fail. 64 out of 60.
All right. So while you're talking to this guy, like 6 Vigilis have surrounded you and him, and they're not grabbing him. They're just letting you guys talk. Okay, but the guy with the insignia of their leader kind of like looks at you and nods, like you seem to have it under control. I'm gonna let this play out for a minute. He's not going anywhere.
Of course.
Antor doesn't see these guys. Only you see these guys, and GB, you see them as well. Okay, he says that it's been going on for a week. It rained for 5 days in a row. And we had our hay drying in the sun, and the rain was about to ruin that. The rain lifted long enough, and that's when someone said they saw the stag. It was dead. It was rotting, but it walked and it spoke to people. And it said that if we made sacrifices to the old gods, the rain would stop and all of our farms would be prosperous. And that if we didn't make sacrifices, our crops would fail and we would starve through the winter. And the stag warned us if any tried to go for help, our families would be made to suffer.
Okay. Now I want to roll natural world to see if that's common for this area. Would I understand that? Oh, okay, like a really bad. Has it been raining a lot everywhere?
Okay, roll natural world.
That is a fail. 58 out of 40. Oh, well.
All right. 58 out of 40.
Nothing for me.
That's 18 points of luck. That's not. Oh. You don't want to burn. I don't think you want to burn that.
I'm like, oh wait, yeah, you were talking about that luck thing, right?
Right.
Nah.
No, that's a lot. GB, you are all here. You are hearing this too. Yes, if you wanted to.
I want to roll the same thing, see if I can have any idea of any of that. And I rolled a 10.
Yes, it is quite common for sudden rains to ruin a hay crop. But if he rode here from somewhere that he's hoping to get back to quickly, it hasn't rained in this area in days and days. So while it can happen naturally, if his village has had rain for 5 days and he's like less than a day travel away, it's probably not natural that you haven't seen any rain here. You've been in Aqua Soleas for 2 days now.
Yeah, we'd be getting at least some rain, some clouds.
Right, it's been sunny. It's been He said that he said that one family spoke out against the stag, and one of my neighbors fired a bow at it and lodged a couple of arrows in it. And the stag said that by morning he would understand the power of the old gods. And the stag just wandered off into the forest, and the next day 6 of his cows ended up lame, and there were so many insects in the fields that his half of his wheat was just ruined.
Can I make an occult roll? I haven't been rolling well, but can I make an occult roll for what the stag could be? Like what
Okay, go ahead.
No, that's a 58. No, that's 20. Nope.
Well, let's hope you're getting all these bad rolls out of the way now.
Yeah, let's hope. I'm not one of those people that think like, oh, there's a pool. I'm just messing it up.
All right. Well, I know that I've dealt with the couple of weird things before, but apparently my character has like zero. An occult has a.
Everybody has base at least
5.
Okay, you can roll that. We've seen rolls under 5.
No,
not today. not right now. We haven't. Okay.
All right. I do want to help this guy because,
Walter, did you freeze or?
Walter, I think you're frozen. I think you froze.
Oh, let's give it a second.
Yeah.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yes,
you're back.
Am I alive?
Yeah. So you said you wanted to help this guy because, and then we were hanging on your words. And we were like,
I wanted to help this guy, but then the stag cursed my feed. Then the stag attacked me with its curses. I was saying if this was modern times, I'd say it's like a Scooby-Doo villain. It's like a guy in a Halloween mask. But now I just think it's a wizard in a Halloween mask.
Right.
It's a legit wizard in a Halloween mask. So I mean, I would like to go to this guy. I'd like to get the person's horse back to them, and then go back to this guy's village, maybe with some of the guards, maybe some of Aquasaleus's guards, to see what's going on. Because if somebody is, attacking the villages, these villages pay tribute to Rome. This is an attack on Rome.
Right. Okay, so at this point, the Vigilis guy steps forward and just kindly puts a hand on the guy's shoulder. And says, Antor, was it? He goes, yes. He goes, I think you're going to need to come with us. And one of these one of the village, and he says, you can't detain me if I'm not back soon. I'm going to, they're going to punish my family. Please send help, but you can't keep me here. I have to get back.
I look at the other officer and I'm like, listen, how about this? We take him. We take the horse back. We'll check to see what's going on. I mean, you can't lose with that one. I mean, you have to avoid this hot mess, and we can look into the information for you. My friend over here can vouch for me.
The soldier guy says, I can vouch for them. They're good for their words. If they say they'll return the man's horse, they will. And if they say that they'll look into this report, we will. I will take my detachment with them. We'll look into it. Where did you say your village was? And he says the name of it again, which I can't pronounce.
Village.
And he said it's on the road between Calevia and Corinium, which is, on the base of the forest, just east of here. And the vigilists say, well, if if you're going to return the horse, then he's really committed no crime here. As long as you keep him out of trouble, and again, you've vouched for him. Anything that happens, we're going to come talk to you guys.
Absolutely.
So the villagers let this guy off, let you guys handle it. And GB, your friend, just rolls his eyes and is like, "What have you gotten me into?"
Hey, fun times, man. Let's go have some fun.
He says, "Look, I'm going to need to fill out some paperwork. It's going to be a couple of hours before my commander gets back. He's off for the day. We can leave in the morning."
All right.
But my recruits need to stretch their legs, so a prolonged march and some interactions with the natives will be good seasoning for them. This is a great exercise. And he looks over at Curtius and he says, "I also agree that it's probably a charlatan with some kind of a skull and a rotten skin, but we'll see."
Yeah, it's things like this. These people need to be. The whole point of Rome is to protect these people from the old ignorant ways.
He looks at you. And remember, this guy is a Briton who's Romanized his name. So he just look, and he says in his most careful Latin, "Quite right, sir. Quite right."
You're a credit to your people.
I just shake my head and take.
I'm not trying to be bigoted, but I know it comes with the territory. Yeah.
Right. So Antor says, Thank you so much, but I can't stay till tomorrow. If I'm not back before nightfall, they're going to know that I'm gone, and my family will be made to suffer." He goes, "Please just let me go. If you can come tomorrow. I'll come forward and I'll bring you to my house, and we can put you up there. But the stag's going to be patrolling once nightfall comes. If it sees
while he's talking, I let him talk, and I look at the guard like this. I give him the raise the eyebrow, like, "Well, are you going to let him?" And he's like, if he says no, I'm not. No,
the guard, Siganaxius, looks over at you. He goes, "You're buying this. You're betting on this horse."
I think he's worried enough. He stole a horse. He could have gotten himself killed. I mean, he's not a very good thief. Whatever it is, he legitimately is scared of it. So
he says, "All right." So he takes out a tablet, scribbles something down. He says, "Go to the main gate, give this to them. They'll assign you a mule. Ride back to your town as fast as you can. Don't hurt the freaking mule. We'll be there tomorrow, the next day at the latest. You can show us around. We'll ask for you. We'll need the fucking mule back." And he goes,
"Yeah, literally that mule. I hate to be this way, Antor, but that mule is worth more than your life."
He says, "I'll guard it with my life, I swear." He says, thank you so much. May the gods bless you."
You're welcome.
And he leaves. He runs off with the tablet to borrow a mule from the guards and ride back to his little village. The guy
about the signature. Thank you very much for that. He just would have holding him for the night. He just would have. You could see he would have just gotten more panicked until he did something really stupid, and then you would have had to correct him.
He says, "Well, I'm a good judge of people, I guess." As you said, he was terrified. I mean, maybe something is happening. He goes, "I hear there are dark forces moving across the land."
There are. I mean, I've seen ghosts. I mean, there are, there are spirits.
Look at them like we've all seen things.
I'm a man of science, and spirits scientifically speaking, are not to be trifled with.
Science, religion, same crap.
And he kind of leans forward. He kind of leans forward. He goes, "Whether it's spirits or not, let my men be afraid. I want to see how they work under conditions."
Understood.
So he says, "All right, I'm gonna draw supplies. I'm gonna get our orders. We'll be ready to leave at dawn. We'll meet you guys at the main gate."
Thank you. So after he leaves, is there a place I can put my slave that I know she'll be safe? Because I don't want to take her into fighting rotting zombie stags.
She says, "Are you sure? I could be of help if there are people in need of medical treatment."
Yeah, but you're worth your property. You're worth about 8,000 sesterces, and I also care for you. I also love you as a daughter. So that's two reasons I don't want to put you at risk.
She says, "I understand. I understand. You actually know there's a lot of doctors in here because this is a place where people go for healing. So not only could you find someone to take care of her quite easily, if they work in the guy's office, they'll pay you like 200 sesterces a week just to borrow her."
Nice. That's what we call in Rome a win-win.
Okay. So you find a friendly doctor's office who's just inundated. They could use another qualified nurse. They promise to treat her like one of their own freedmen servants. Good food, her own bed, and she only has to work from dawn till dusk.
Only.
Sounds fair. So I don't want her getting too spoiled, dude.
Okay. All right. So she's taking care of her. She's she's stashed in a place where she's going to be safe and comfortable.
I'm just playing the character. I mean, I know it's good to have more NPCs going into something, more targets.
Nobody ever brings her. I don't think in the history of this character, no one's ever brought Helga on an adventure because they don't want her to die.
Well, you really do emphasize that he loves her like a daughter, and the best thing that ever happened to him. So it's like, yeah, he's not just gonna throw her away.
Right? It's like zombie stags. No, you're not coming.
Yeah, she doesn't get to be. I doubt anybody who's actually playing the character would have her as a meat shield.
Right. I've not met that level of asshole yet. Hey, let's bring the 10-year-old slave girl as a meat shield.
Yeah, strap her to my front. I'll strap her to my head. Or she's gonna blow the arrows.
Have her carry the torch in front of the party.
Might be a gas leak. Send her up front.
I cast a spell deflect arrow and just put her up.
Okay, so you're able to do whatever you want to do. It's a small city, large town. So there's plenty of amenities here. There's restaurants, there's taverns, there's brothels, there's, whatever you guys want to do for the evening. If you want to just get a really good night's rest in a great bed,
and to the brothel.
However you guys want to pass the evening is fine.
I think I'm gonna keep it very simple. No drinking, just a simple meal, and simple meal. Maybe just a quick sacrifice just for security. A pigeon, something like that.
Okay, that costs you one sesterce to do the whole sacrifice to the will of the gods and roll a luck.
Oh, okay. And that is a fail.
That is a fail. Okay, when you release when you make the sacrifice, the priestess for the sesterce actually will read the animal's entrails. It's all part of the package.
Yeah, it's all part of the service.
So when she reads the entrails, she looks up at you and she says, Do you walk towards danger, sir?
Probably. You.
She says, the fates are clear. You must walk carefully, for you will be denied.
Oh, great. All right. Thank you.
To test the metal of
Denied what? I'm not getting into it.
Make a sand check. This counts as an ill omen.
Okay. Motherfucker. Actually, I make my sanity exactly at it, 89.
Okay, you don't lose any sand. It would have been like a 1 point sand loss.
Yeah, it is. But just a good start. Dude.
Right. Okay. So the night passes, and
I proceed to test, as my friend said, test the metal of his men. I'm going to drink them under the table, and then so we all have the same hangover on our forced march.
Okay, make your luck roll.
I think I passed.
Okay, so you make your luck. You're drinking with them, and they're not really keeping up with you by the alcohol, but you do notice that the Syrian boys are passing around a pipe, and they're trying not to let you see them do it.
Hey, what you got there?
They were like, do you want to try?
Yeah.
He says, it's a taste of Antioch, and they pass you the hash pipe.
Oh, we doing hash.
Okay, so Jimmy, I need you to make another con check.
Oh, God. A con?
Yes.
Ooh, made it by 5.
Okay. So you are not only drunk now, you're high, but you're enjoying the high. So you spend the night with these Syrian raw recruits, smoking opium and just drinking ale, and staying up way too late. And
regretting it the next morning.
And they are hurting the next morning.
Well, now I know why I'll be denied, because you're freaking a junkie. Thank you.
So, Walter, when you show up with this ill omen hanging over you, you see your bodyguard warrior friend just red-eyed, drooping. Half the guys look like they just want to, they're like staggering in formation.
Puking on the side.
Saganiax, he comes over and he's like, all right, we're gonna be setting a quick pace today, and he comes out with a mule cart, and he says, the good news is, load up your packs. And they load their packs, so they're happy that they don't have to be laden with supplies. And you see there's like a week's worth of food in here for everyone. And he says, Curious, can you handle the cart?
Can I?
I think it's Teamster.
Oh, Teamster. Okay.
Well, you only need to roll it if it's like you're in a car chase or something. You can.
Okay. Yeah. I can just kind of like
coast it. He goes.
Yeah.
He goes.
Like
once we get to the main road outside of town, put her in a trot for at least 2 hours.
Okay.
And he says, the bad news is, you sons of bitches need to pace the cart.
We can do it, boys. Let's go.
So
run, junkies, run.
He does it, and it's literally like the forced march trot for like half a day. One of the guys passes out. And he says, one of you fuckers better carry him. So then the other soldiers have to carry him and they're slapping him awake, and he comes awake. A couple guys puke, and they're like, never again. Yeah, right.
Never again.
But so it's a forced march. You don't manage to get all the way to the village before dark, because it's right now it's probably early November, so you're all in heavier cloaks with the trousers. It's just after the locals' New Year. So it's cooler weather, and the sun is setting much earlier than it would. So he has the men, unpack the supplies, puts up a large tent for, the three of you, and they put up their little 4-man squad tents. And he makes them cook and dig a latrine, and set up some earth, like an earthen mound around a little bit, so you guys can't be surprised easily. And you all have dinner, and he sets watches, and unless you guys want to do something, the night passes uneventfully.
Good.
Well, I'll see if how's GB doing?
Oh no, I behave.
Is this friggin' opium bender gonna friggin' pass, or are you gonna get me killed?
We're officially on march. I'll behave.
Yeah, nobody's drinking or smoking now, and I think she made her roll, so she wasn't as badly off as the rest of them.
Okay, because like if you're hungover and gonna be weak in case of battle, then I'll give you something to get you high again, so you can keep moving, and keep going.
All right. So, do you want to leave the watches to these men?
I'll do one of the watches with them.
Okay. There's going to be 4 watches, so really, people only need to stay awake an extra 2 hours.
I'm not gonna just go to sleep because I'm kind of scared. I have seen ghosts and things like that, so I'm not. I'm not completely relaxed, dude.
Okay, Walter, you can easily stay awake through the first watch.
Okay.
And that'll take you to like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
After that, you're going to be feeling it in the morning.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, then I'll go to bed.
Okay, so you don't have to patrol, but I guess you're up in the tent doing some reading or whatever.
Yeah, just kind of, praying and trying to figure, just racking my brain trying to figure out what are like some of the local legends? Like, what is this stag? Like, is this something new? Is this something?
Well, the stag is a symbol of one of the local gods.
Okay.
It's never described as being like dead, or being a walking corpse of a stag. Maybe it's a desecration. Maybe it's an insult to the gods. The guy did say that they would turn away from that they would have to return to the worship of the old gods. So maybe that's something older than the stag.
Yeah.
Maybe the whole thing is a symbol. You're not sure. So, GB, which watch are you going to stay awake for?
I'll take the third one in the middle. One of the middle ones.
All right, GB's asleep. Walter, I need you to make a listen roll.
And that is a success, but just barely. 23 out of 25.
You hear the sound of someone falling in the dark, like just the chainmail and the pilum hitting each other as if somebody tripped over something in the dark, not far from your tent.
Trooper, are you all right?
There's no answer.
It's like, are there any other troopers around me?
There should be 2 guys patrolling, but the way they've been set up, one would be on the other side of the camp.
I'm actually I'm not gonna yell and scream. It's cool. So can I get some assistance over here? I think one of the men are hurt.
Okay, a few guys get out of their tents.
Do I hear this?
Yeah, you hear this.
And grab my spear.
And 1 second. So Walter, you start kind of raising, not panicked, but you start raising an alarm. A couple of guys wander out. The other guard who's on duty kind of comes over. GB starts getting up. GB, you are not in your armor, of course, because you were sleeping.
I'm putting that sucker on.
So you immediately start putting your armor on, not even knowing what's going on. You've woken up to sounds and you automatically start pulling your armor on.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, that's the sound of a good... That's not a bad idea. All right, I just need to find something and... Okay. So, Walter, you see like two guys come out of like one of those small tents that was near to yours.
Yeah.
And, they're in their tunics, and one guy he's like strapping his belt with his gladius on. The other guy kind of comes out and he's hitting a flint of steel to light a torch. And out of nowhere, a pair of wolves come charging out of the darkness and attack both of them.
Now I do raise an alarm. I do yell. Like,
Okay,
help, animal!
You start screaming. A wolf runs past them into the tent where you, GB, and the other lieutenant guy is. He was just starting to rouse himself. And it will attempt to attack. Walter, you're 1-2. GB, you're 3-4. He's 5-6. It's going to go right for you, Walter, but you were ready, so you can attack it first, or run away from it first, or run behind GB first.
I'm going to try to run from a wolf.
Okay. You're going to attack?
I'm going to attack with my large knife.
Okay.
See how this goes.
You're a cushy healer.
And that's, I do hit 64 out of 70.
Okay. Give me damage.
At the 4, it's 6 points. What's my damage bonus? I'm sorry, I should know that, but no. So just 6 points.
Okay, so good hit with the large knife.
Oh yeah.
It comes biting for you. You hit it right in the neck, like hit through some of the blood vessels on the right side of its head. Just a grievous wound, but it's not enough to put it down. And it will attempt to bite you. Of course, I hit it. And you stab it, but it does clamp on to your other arm.
Can I roll some luck to try to get out of that too?
You can roll a dodge.
Okay. Okay, so my dodge is 36, so under 36. And that is a fail. Not 100, but a 99.
Now there's some, so you try and back away. You end up stumbling. It bites your arm for 3 points.
Yeah.
GB, do you wish to attack it or continue putting on your armor?
How far in my armor am I?
You'd need another 2 rounds. You'd have to just drop your armor, grab a weapon, and hit it.
Okay, then I'll just hit it with my spear.
Okay, you just grab your spear, go.
And I hit. Yes, I can. I got it under the half mark.
Okay, give me damage.
Okay.
So a hard success on the attack.
Eight.
Okay. So Walter, she picks up the spear, hits it in the head. It immediately releases your arm, and she drives it back, and he drives it back, and just like plants it in the dirt, and it just twitches and dies. So you're clear.
Right.
The other guy, he just draws his spatha and steps in front of you. As another wolf comes towards him, he rolls a 95
Ooh.
and will miss. GB, you can attack this wolf as well.
A 5. So it's
Okay, so what is your
critical.
maximum damage with the spear?
My maximum is.
And this is the two-handed spear, right? This is
so total damage. It does the. Do I add the? I don't add the bill to it, right? Just the damage.
No, the strength
Add-
bonus.
Look at the damage bonus to your right of the weapons.
So it is 14 points.
Okay. He misses it, and you just kind of like come out of nowhere, hit it in its side, and you kind of like flip it behind you. Almost like, baling hay. Like you hit it and then just
Like who's
slam
your
it.
daddy?
It's like disemboweled behind you.
That new Demon Souls backstab where he does a twist on it.
And Walter's like, okay, now I know why I hang out with you.
Good opium. Good to know. Opium doesn't dull your reflexes.
Okay. And at this point, you hear all of the men outside like screaming, like wolves are literally attacking the entire camp. So 2 more run into the tent.
Jesus.
The soldier will roll a 42 hitting, roll an 8.
Nice.
He's got a good build because he's a soldier, and he puts it down.
Nice.
The Spatha is like the long officer's sword.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Gladius, which is the shorter one.
I'm going to go to the officer's tent and see if I can help him.
No, you're in. He was rooming with you guys. He was He was in the slightly larger tent with the two of you.
Gotcha.
So GB, if you put this one down, that should be the attack.
Give me a second. I do. Well, I rolled the hit. Ooh, that's a good roll. 12.
That puts that down. You've seen wolves, and you may have even fought them. You've never seen them this brazen or aggressive to like attack a well-lit camp with, well-armed men.
Are they like starving? Do they look like?
No, they appear very healthy. They're not foaming. They don't appear sick or, they appear to be in pretty good shape.
Is there any way I can find the trooper that I originally I heard somebody fall? Is there the injured, dead, dying? Is there anything I can do?
There are 2 injured, and that one, the men go after him because they find where he fell, but he'd been dragged away.
Oh, okay.
But there are 2 men with serious bites, so you can tend to their wounds and they'll live.
All right. Right, you want me to roll, or we'll just say I treat?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Cool. I'm going to do first aid on myself though, because I lost 3 points.
Of course.
I make it. So
okay, so you can get those 3 points back.
Right.
You stitch yourself up, you bandage it carefully. It'll hurt for a few days, but it's not a serious wound. So the lieutenant kind of your soldier friend kind of comes over and he says, I've never seen them come into a camp of men with a fire before.
Agreed. This was not normal. Do you know do we have any trackers that we can track which way they came from?
She says, I've already lost 1 man. And honestly, I don't think any of them retreated. We didn't hear any of them leave the camp. In all, a dozen wolves attacked the camp.
Well, we start cleaning up. Hey, let's start salvaging the pelts too. Those are not cheap.
Okay. Some of the guys actually have some skill with tanning, with skinning, so they help you. He sends 4 guys out, and they come back with the body of the man who was taken by surprise and dragged off. And they do what they can with his body and put it in the back of the cart, and the men appear very shaken. And the lieutenant goes,
When we get back, we'll
he was
we'll,
like
we'll
he
have
was
another...
he was 17 years old.
Ugh.
I'm sorry to have gotten you into this, dude.
He says, well, apparently that man wasn't a lunatic after all. Maybe there is something going on.
Yeah, something's weird about this.
He says, so when we, as soon as first light, we'll set out, get to the village, and if there is someone behind this, we'll get to the bottom of it.
Well, thank you very much for your help.
Thank you for yours. Had you not been so observant, they may have dragged off more of my men.
I look at the men. I'm like, don't worry, man. We'll avenge our friend.
Roll an oratory, Jimmy.
I have a 15 and I roll a fucking 2.
You were like, don't worry, we will avenge our fallen companion. He goes, fear not. Like, you make this whole big speech, and the men are they're encouraged, and because they were really looking like, I want to go home. They were like, why did I join the army?
More opium.
So
we shall have a feast of opium when we get back.
So now they're all fired up, and they want payback for their friend. Okay. No one sleeps well the rest of the night, so you set out at a little before dawn, and you come upon you smell the smoke of the early morning fires before you see the town, and you almost miss the village in the fog, but it kind of comes out. The lieutenant's kind of checking his maps because it's a little off the main road. And you come to a group of farms in a village square. And he tells his men, look sharp, look lively, you represent Rome. So the men are all puffed up, and you guys come into the main town. And you start coming by, some of the outer farms, and they appear, everything seems like wet and damp. A lot of the crops they don't look like they're doing well. You pass one farm, and there's a bull out in the pasture with the long, proud horns, and his head is just hanging, and he's like limping on one of his front hooves. There's a lot of mud in the town, which is weird because it hasn't really been raining by you. What few people you do see out this early, they're doing their morning chores, but they look... their clothes seems a bit dingy and muddy. Their spirits seem low. And you get into the center of town, and the soldier guy announces, greetings, people of Malacheti. We seek Antor. Antor, come forward.
I'm going to take a look. Like, I'm just going to try to look as we're going into the town and everything. Do I see the mule or anything? Because
no, you don't.
No. Okay.
Okay, a guy comes out. Actually, two men come out. One guy's appearing, like a Briton, and another man appears to be Roman, a settler, and not like a Romanized Briton, or Roman, someone from, maybe from Gaul, maybe not from Italia proper, but he's from, the more consolidated inner empire. And they say, greetings, Centurion. I am Michal. And the Roman mind says, and I'm Gradius and jealous. We think that you must be mistaken. There's no one named Antor in the village. And the soldier just like rubs his forehead and he says, we spoke to someone 2 days ago who said that the village needed help, that you were beset, that you were bewitched. And the Briton guy, Michal, says, "Oh no, someone must be playing a prank on you, sir. We're fine here. No one's left. No one's summoned any help."
Insight.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. Roll insight.
Roll.
A 6.
1.
Nice.
He is not being true. They are not being truthful.
Okay, to say the least, it's an extreme success. So do I read his mind? No, I'm kidding.
It's like the Bene Gesserit sisters. Get out of my mind. So you see other people like looking out from around the town.
I cracked my neck a couple of times.
At this point, the soldier guy
I know he's lying. I'm trying to look around to see if I see anybody running away or trying to move away to like go.
You don't see anyone rushing off. Gonaxis comes and grabs.
He did it before I could.
he grabs one of the Celtic guys, comes to the back of the cart, and like uncovers the body of the kid with his throat torn out. And he says, "Look at him! Look at him!" I said, "He says barely any hair on his chest. He was a boy, and he died coming to this miserable mud hole." He goes, "I've already lost one man coming here, and you're going to tell me nothing's wrong?" He goes, "Where's Antor?"
I also step on to the man. The centurion just grabs his son. We know that you're not telling the truth. These men like to hang people from crosses when they know they're being attacked, when they know that they're under threat. Please, let's try not to let it go that far.
Okay, roll your persuade. This is not a lie. This is the truth, so it is persuade.
Yeah, the dead soldier.
Yeah, he lost one of his men. He's not in the mood to play games.
Fail.
You fail. And then he goes, there is no Antor. Nobody left the village. Everything's fine here. And then he just like throws him down and he says, "Spread out in groups of 3. One of you watch him." He goes, "Search every farm, find that mule, find that kid." He goes, "Find the man we spoke to." And he kind of like says to the Roman guy, "You there, stand by him, come here too." He goes, "If anything happens to my men, you two will be the first to pay for it." And they start. The soldiers start kicking in doors and searching the central shops of the town square. People are upset. Children are crying. Everybody looks afraid. And that's where we're going to break. Because at this precise moment, the other players will be arriving in town from the opposite direction.
Okay.
So Antor managed to bring in some more suckers.
No, they're actually just passing through. They're just gonna fall. They're just gonna fall into this mess. So they don't even know that you guys are playing. So it's kind of going to be a surprise that they're going to get 2 other players who are going to kind of hook them into the adventure. And for what I've got planned, they're definitely going to need 6. So I'm planning this to
if it
probably
weren't
be
for
our adventure for the next 3 to 4 sessions to lead to like the end of the year.
Okay.
So we can chew, we can really Shatner it up. We could chew up the scenery and have a good time. It's not we're not running this like we have to get a session done every time. So
Okay.
more entertaining for everybody. So that's going to be the I think the part A, the before part 1 of
the prologue.
the prologue.
Episode
Thank you,
one.
Jimmy.
Episode 1.
Episode 1 of
Zero.
of Shadow of the Oak.
Nice.
Yeah. I was going to say something Phantom something, but that's good, Shadow. That's a George Lucas title.
I'm glad you approve. All right, so I'm going to end the broadcast, and hopefully I recorded this correctly. If not, what are we going to do? I tried.
All
All right.
You watch